Well, hey guys, I wanted to shoot this quick video on the topic of operations management. As the owner of digital marketing agencies, we tend to be very entrepreneurial, right? The owner of the business tends to be typically the person that is thinking about, I want to grow the company, I want to go land new clients, I want to grow, I want to scale. And as you grow, there's going to be peaks and valleys, right? You're going to have to take on responsibility. You're going to have to do lots of things. But usually what happens is you start to get bottlenecked with operations, right? Doing the work that you sold to clients, right? Having the monthly launch calls and building the websites and doing the SEO and delivering the results on a consistent basis. It can become extremely overwhelming. I was on a call with Michael, one of our members here, and he's grown a 7-figure agency, and he's kind of stuck at this bottleneck place in his business where there's lots of work to do, and as the owner of the company, he feels like he's got to have his hand in the operations. He feels like he has to have his hand in the sales and business development, and it creates a constant battle. Right? It's like, how do I focus on growing if I'm trying to get the work done? And I want to share the number one insight that really changed everything for me in my agency. I think one of the most important things you need to pay attention to as you grow and as you scale. There's a great book called Get Traction by Gino Wickman. And the whole concept of that book is, as the entrepreneur, you're the visionary, right? You're the person saying, here's where we want to go, usually focused on sales, business development. And then there's the integrator, which is the person that is more the behind the scenes person that gets work done and is able to be productive and is able to follow through on all of the big ideas that you have. And the book makes a very strong case that if you do not have an integrator, you're not going to have a lot of traction, right? You're even if you grow, you're going to be constantly in putting out fires. You're going to constantly have balls that are dropped. You're going to constantly have things that you're looking back at and like, oh, I don't know why. And it's really important that you recognize if you're the kind of person that likes to start ideas but doesn't like to follow through on them, that's not a problem, right? That doesn't make you a bad person. That doesn't make you an incapable entrepreneur. What it does mean is that you've got to find somebody to counterbalance you in your business. And the best tool on the market for this is a site called wherewithal.com. It's actually a Colby Assessment. And what Colby will tell you is your striving personality. Lots of information on Colby Assessments. It's called the Colby A Assessment. And if you pull it up, you'll find most entrepreneurs are high fact finders, or somewhere in the middle, high fact find and low follow through, but high quick start. So over here in the middle column here, this green column, quick start is an entrepreneurial trait. You come up with an idea, you hit the ground running. I've seen entrepreneurs at 8s and 9s on this scale, and that's great. The world needs high quick start people, but usually we're low follow through. This blue one right here, which means we like to come up with ideas. We'll even do it a couple times. But eventually, we start to trail off. We start to get bored, right? And that's been my experience in our agency. We'll say, okay, we're going to do websites, right? And I'll learn how to do it, and I'll kind of fill the process up. And then the second, third, fourth, fifth time, the redundancy of the task, I just lose interest. I can't continue to follow through on it. Some people think of themselves as ADD. Some of us just think we just don't have the attention span for it. But the reality is that's how we operate, right? Now, there are people that are high quick start, that are high follow through, right? They don't make quick decisions necessarily, but they are the kind of people that like to keep the trains running on time. They're cool with doing the same task month after month, week after week, year after year. And so anytime I find an agency that we work with that has quick growth and kind of breaks through the plateau, like they're able to continue to get the work done, they're able to keep the agency running, and growing without being the bottleneck themselves, without trying to continue to own the operations aspect of the business. They found somebody to step in, lead the operations side of the equation so that they can focus on business development and the vision of the company. And that person inevitably has to be a high follow through. And where I see people stub their toes on this is they say, yep, I get it. I'm going to get someone to come in and be my operations director, my integrator, whatever you want to call it. And they hire somebody, but they hire somebody just like them, somebody that's talking the talk, somebody that has done the same trainings that they have, somebody that is similar mindset, right? Which is all great. It makes sense. But they hire somebody that's low follow through, high quick start. So what they wind up is almost like a duplicate version of themselves. Somebody that also likes to talk business, somebody that also likes to start things up but not follow through on them. And now they're paying somebody to not get the job done and to drop the ball on their clients. Now, I'm not saying this is total catastrophe. Like, you can still figure things out. You can still kind of make the ball move forward, but you wind up stressed out, right? And it's not being done at the highest level that it could or should be. So I can think of a number of examples. Agencies that have come up, gotten to six figures, got really bogged down with operations, hired their integrator, their operations manager, didn't realize the whole follow-through, low follow-through thing, didn't run a Colby assessment. 6 months, 3 months in, they're saying, man, I don't know, this person's not getting the stuff done. I feel like I sell a client and I still don't know whether we're doing what needs to be done and all of the little tasks are getting completed. And then they start to get back into operations mode, and then they start trying to figure out, the teamwork or the Trello boards or whatever, and they're trying to rebuild things, and it creates chaos. So hopefully, if you're still watching this video right now, you realize, yep, I need to make sure that I run potential candidates that I'm thinking are going to be my operations manager through this Colby assessment. And I want to make sure that I'm looking for someone that's a high follow-through. We've got two people that basically run plumbing and HVAC SEO from an operations perspective. And both of them have an identical profile that looks like this. And this is important. Like, this is the cheat codes to having like well-run operations without you having to do it yourself. And even if you do it yourself, well, I'll talk about this here in a second, you'll try your best, but you won't actually do the work. And I'll tell you why. So we have a number of people. We kind of hire off of this profile at this point. But what you're looking for is somebody that's high follow-through and high fact finder. Usually a high fact find person does their research, they understand how things work, and high follow-through means they'll do the work, not for a week, not for a month, but they'll do it day in and day out. They'll consistently make sure that all of the things you promised, all the crazy ideas you put on the table actually get carried across the finish line. They'll make you look good, right? They'll make sure that the projects get finished. They'll make sure that the tasks get managed. And so that's what you want. They don't need to be high quick start. And I see a lot of people look at the implementer tab and they think, well, I thought this was going to be a good person, but they're low implementer. If you read this chart, like the way Colby works, implementer is really talking about how you build things with your hands, right? So if you were going to be like a molder or somebody that builds houses and is physically nailing the stuff, you want to be high implementer. You're a touch and feel person. In our world, in digital marketing agencies doing websites, SEO, pay-per-click, social media management, really what we want is somebody high fact find, high follow through, and the quick start and the implementer isn't nearly as important. So hopefully this is a good insight for you, right? The first thing I want you to recognize, growing your business, you have to separate yourself from operations, right? You cannot run operations once you get to 30 or 40 clients and still continue to grow and still continue to do the work that's going to position you as the expert and keep your business growing on a consistent basis. Second thing is, if you know you have to separate yourself from operations, you want to strategically find somebody that is a high follow-through on the Colby assessment. Make sure, do not hire somebody just because they're smart, just because they worked at another agency, just because they have 10 years of operations experience. You want high follow-through. And you want that high follow-through in a lot of the different aspects in your business. You want high follow-through in your account managers. You want high follow-through in your SEO team. You want high follow-through in pretty much all of those areas in your business. So hopefully that's a good insight. Now, the other thing I'm going to say is if you look at my profile, it's kind of similar to what you'll see with a typical entrepreneur. Low follow-through, 4. I think my business partner, Dean, it's like a 1 or a 2. Very typical, right? We come up with ideas. We want to just have it done. But we're smart, right? We do our research. We know how this stuff works. We know what should be done. We like to research tools, so we'll get into Trello, we'll get into Basecamp, we'll get into all of these different tools, and we'll start to unpack them, right? And what happened with me and Dean, because me and my business partner Dean, both high fact finder, high quick start, low follow through, was we jumped from tool to tool all of the time. Like literally, we set up Basecamp and we put in our tasks, and it was like, oh, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening with these projects. Let's try something different. And then we left Basecamp and we went to whatever the other system was at the time, right? From Trello to Teamwork to Asana, everything in between. Those tools only work if you've got somebody that's high follow through to manage them. Because really the purpose of the tool is to map out tasks, to give deadlines, to get everybody clear on who needs to do what by when. But if you're not going in at the end of each day, at the end of each week, and closing the loop and holding the team accountable, well, did that task get done on time? Is this in place? Did that get done? Right? If you don't do that, or somebody doesn't do that, the tool is worthless, right? You wind up with a bunch of tasks that you're going to have to eventually just delete and restart. And I speak from experience because that was my experience. I would set up these tools, I would have great intentions, and then we'd have to just abandon ship. And it wasn't until I finally let go of the thought that I could do that I was able to free myself from the operations. I physically couldn't get myself to do it, right? If you're a 3, 4, or less on follow-through, you just can't do it. You're not built that way. And even if you can do it for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, by the time a month is up, your mind is going to be like, man, I'd rather do anything than try and keep on top of all of these different tasks that sit in these task management platforms. So accept the fact, and I'm giving you permission to accept the fact that you can't do it, you won't do it, and the best thing you can do is find somebody that's high follow through, that will set these tools up for you, that will manage the tasks. That way you can focus on doing what you do best. Right? Your high quick start, coming up with ideas, doing business development, doing positioning work, landing clients, growing your business, and make sure that you've got somebody really good that's taking all of those ideas, that's taking all of those clients, making sure all of that stuff's getting done on a consistent basis within your business. So hopefully this helps. It was just, I've had this conversation a couple times with a couple of our high-level mastermind members, and I thought it'd be really good to bring this to the fore, and would love to get your thoughts. Like, any questions on this, let me know. If you'd like to see Colby Assessment profiles for other roles in the company, to me, high follow-through in operations is pretty much the most important thing I look for, because that's where things get done on a consistent basis. If you have other insights on this, like if you do Colby assessments or you've had experience with this, love to hear from you guys in comments as well. So my 2 cents on operations management there. Don't try and do it yourself. It's going to be a bottleneck for you, and find somebody that is high follow through that can get the work done. Talk to you later.